Hi everyone. I wanted to do this bonus Activate session. So we've obviously had 3 full days of Activate. So we went through things that you had to let go of, things you just had to accept that you potentially have been choosing. We looked at your big dreams. What is it you want to focus on? Where is it you letting your focus go where you shouldn't? And then that big one at the end, like what can we choose again? What can we say we are worth going for? So this one is all about the power of momentum. We had some big ahas in them 3 days, and people were like, I'm going for this big dream. I want to manifest these things. But often it ends up that sometimes normal life kicks in and we end up thinking, how do I keep this momentum up? So that is why I wanted to do this one on the power of momentum, because this is about keeping you focused. So yeah, let me see. Melanie, I'm here, but you keep freezing. Right. Is everybody getting me freezing? Because what I can do is I can try and join again. Am I freezing for everyone? Let me know. Pop in the comments. I have a movie date with Caris, but once our tea is ready. No worries, you are here. Please let me know, anyone, if I am freezing, because I can leave and come back on. Anyone? Can you pop a comment in, because I don't know whether you can hear me. I don't know whether it's stopping, whether it's starting. And before I dive in, I just want to check, because if not, I will rejoin. Please. Let me see. Hi, Lisa. Stop freezing now. Right, thanks, Melanie. Now I've just been really stalled. Fab. Okay, brilliant. So, yeah, day 4. This is I don't know why I'm doing 10. We have a special Activate bonus. So, often when we start to do things and we get these big ahas and we think, yes, this is what I want to create in my life, often we end up at a point where normal routines kick in, normal behavior kicks in, and we go back sometimes and we don't keep up that level of momentum. So this is what tonight's about. It's all about that momentum. So I want you to keep focused, and that is the point of it. So I will be flicking between the comments on here just so I don't bother the internet signal. Hi, Tonya. Hi, Christina. Fab. So I'll do as a card first. And has anybody listened to the podcast episode, or how has it been going this week with your focus? Have you been trying to refocus on positive things? What's been happening since the Momentum program? I'd love to know. Yes, the card we've got tonight is Ease and Grace. So it is all about letting things flow, going with your intuition, listening to that intuition. If you look there, there's that huge channel coming round, and it is time to stop fighting and start to let more ease into your life and just seeing what comes, because it really is about letting all them good things come now. We've been in a transition period the last few months where everything has been moving us to this point, and we're coming up to the 10-10 portal, and it is all about this big shift and this big shift in Libra energy. So it's all about aligning your inner world and your external world, so both are equally as amazing. So couldn't be a better time for these types of programs to be going on. Let me just check the comments. Yes, such a good card. Natalie's heard the podcast. Fab. So on the podcast, I touched on 3 things to keep you going on the power of momentum, because ultimately we're all made up, everything in our lives is made up of our habits and the things that we accept or the standards we set for ourselves. So if you put that into context, if you're trying to lose weight and your habit is that you don't want to exercise and you don't want to eat healthy, then you're setting an expectation or a standard for yourself that you're really not going to lose weight, because you're not setting your habits around what it is you want to achieve. And it comes down to this idea of who do we want to be, this identity of who we want to be. Now, you all come up with amazing things that you wanted in your life, whether it, even on the new moon one we did the other day, whether it was more happiness, you wanted more freedom, you wanted that amazing house. There were so many things that were coming up. And firstly, to keep us going with what it is we want, we've got to get ourselves a why. So why do you want the things in your life? So first of all, pop in the comments, what are them big dreams that you'd love to have? If you could have absolutely anything, your big dreams come true, they come true tomorrow. What are them big dreams? Pop them in the comments. And sometimes we don't even know, because we worry that we've never been allowed to dream, so why would we start now? And often that's a blocker for us. So have a think about, what are them big dreams? What were coming up for you during Activate? Or if you've just started thinking about them, what were them dreams that were coming up for you? Yeah, Christina's got the house. Okay. And we've got to think of, what is our compelling why? Now that sounds really strange when you think a compelling why, but ultimately, what is it we want this thing for? Now, we all have a why. We literally all have a why. And Christina, yours is the house. So what is that why for you? Because it's all around having that house and having that place. I know we've talked about it, having that place for your family. And it's about really understanding, what is your why? What is the reason you want something? So for me, everything I do is linked to this idea that, weirdly, crazily enough, people do not know enough about manifesting. I feel that manifesting should be taught through schools. We should know all of this stuff, but yet we don't. So my why is, I want to teach so many people about this, because if I'd learned this when I was a kid, my life would have been completely different. So my why is, I want to empower people through manifesting, and that is my why, and that has been my why for so long. That is why I do things like lives, which really scare the hell out of me most of the time. I've, started the podcast, scared the hell out of me at first, put these packages together, they scare me too. And I fight through that fear because my why is so strong, because I know people need to know this information, and that is my strong why. That is what keeps me going, and I see the benefit of it all the time. So my why becomes bigger than my excuses. I don't shy away from doing lives because I think, well, someone needs to hear that. Someone needs to hear that message. Someone who has never heard any of that before needs to hear that, or even someone who has, the need to hear it in a different way. So my why goes, Rachel, get some makeup on, get a live done, get your podcast done. My excuses are minimal. Even though, sometimes you're pushing yourself, it's because my why is so, so strong. So what is your why? Melanie's saying, a nice new car, time to travel and do it. Yes, love it. I feel like the personal freedom. Yeah, honestly, Christina, that's it. It's all about that freedom. Teach your daughter your mindset work. Amazing. I'm going to touch on that as well. So yeah, first thing is, get yourself a why that is bigger than your excuses. So if you are looking to lose weight, or you want to, well, let's use the lose weight example. So if you're looking to lose weight, you have to get into your why. Do you want to feel healthy so you live a longer life? Do you want to fight off illness? Do you want to just feel amazing in your clothes and how you look and how you feel in yourself? What is it about losing weight that you are going to gain? What is that why? What's the reason for it? Because if that's not strong enough, your excuses of not having to exercise or not having to eat healthy will kick in, and they will win. That little voice will win. So what is your compelling why when it comes to losing weight? Because that's the bit that's going to keep you in check when you're like, oh, don't really want to go for a run tonight, or I don't really want to do yoga, or whatever it is you like to do. And now I have things that people need to know. Yes, Natalie, you do, definitely. Self-employment for me is all about personal freedom and the ability to help and inspire others. Yes, Tonya, absolutely love it. My why is keeping control of my diabetes. Yes, Melanie, that is such a strong one. And I want to empower my own children and go out and get what they want. Yes, honestly, I'm going to be touching on kids. That sounds weird, but we're going to be touching about how kids notice these things. So it is so empowering to try and inspire your kids through your actions. So that's the first one. Think of your why. Get clear on your why. If you're not yet, don't worry. Go and get clear on it. Picture it. Imagine it. Have it up on a wall. Have that as your spiritual slap every single day. Whatever it is you need. What is your why? The next one. Who do you surround yourself with? So if you have this huge goal and this huge dream, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because we are made up by the 5 people influence us the most. So the 5 people around us, and they might not be physically around you all the time, but it's the ones that you listen to. It's the ones who you have that disapproving voice in your head, or the ones that the ones you want to please. So even though you might not see your mum because she lives away for like 6, you might see her every 3 to 6 months, or it might be your grandma you don't see often, or there's certain people in your life that have been influential that you are worried about. They are the ones that are working on your mindset. The people around you, the people close to you, the people's opinion you hold valid. Now, the thing is, we've got to start surrounding ourselves with people who believe in your new belief, your new why, your new thing that you are doing. Because otherwise, what tends to happen is you end up slipping to please other people. So you need people who are going to keep you accountable and keep you accountable to that goal. So if you want to lose weight, you don't want people who are around you who are like, oh, but you don't need to go for a run. Come out for a drink with me. Come on, we'll do something fun. We'll go and have a pizza. We'll go and, because they mean it from a nice place and they're trying to just be nice and friendly, and it's who you used to be, and you will go, yeah, all right, I'm not going to go for a run, I'll do that. But actually, they're not keeping you accountable. They're not really supporting you, and they don't believe in your new belief. So often we surround ourselves with these people and we end up slipping off track because we want to fit in with who we've always been. So we end up going backwards. So we've got to be careful of that. I know when I lost my weight originally, people around me didn't like it. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't who I was. People didn't get it. And it was hard because I had to keep myself accountable, even though that support around me wasn't right. So you need to get yourself in the place where you are surrounded by people who believe what you believe, or will keep you accountable, or will support you through the journey. You need to get them people. You need to get your soul tribe in place for whatever you are changing. Don't worry, Val. We've just been running over things to keep you on track with the power of momentum. So the next one is small incremental changes. Literally, small changes every single day have a huge compound effect. Now, we think sometimes we've got to change everything overnight and we're not seeing enough results. But let's be honest, if you decided you wanted to be a runner, but you've never run before, you're going to go out and run 10 miles. One, you're probably going to kill yourself. You're going to put yourself off for life. You're going to think, I'm never ever doing that again. It was horrific and I didn't know what I was doing. Or you'll just feel like a failure because you're not good enough yet. So you've got to build yourself up. You would go out for a mile here, a mile there. You know, you would build it up over time. And it is the same with mindset changes. It's the same with transformation. You just do small changes. And these small changes massively add up over time. And then all of a sudden, you're doing huge, huge things. So honestly, do not overstretch yourself by thinking, I have to change my whole world in a day. You really don't. And one, it's not sustainable. And two, you actually don't get the transformation that you want because it's not enough. So how many people have been on things like Lighter Life, lost a shitload of weight, and then ended up putting it all on because their mindset's not right for it. They're not in the right place. So it doesn't work. You can't do it like that overnight. You've got to do it through time and you've got to get a structure in place. So really small incremental changes that are gonna make lasting change. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Yes, I am one of them people. I am definitely your soul tribe. So the big thing for me is we are all made of these habits. Now, you'll all have these habits. You'll have them ingrained in you. Now, we've had, obviously, the Activate, and then we've launched Unleash. And some of your habits will be like, right, initially you'll go, do you know what? I can't afford that. It's not for me at the moment. It's not this, it's not that. And naturally, it'll be your go-to answer. Rachel's launching something. Oh, what are my excuses? What are the things? And that, again, is a habit. Now, when we're changing anything in ourselves, we've got to change these habits. We've got to become that new person we're trying to be. So sometimes it takes you to think, right, who is that person I'm trying to be? What decisions are they making? So when you're trying to be that new runner, that person is going to be thinking, I'm going out for a run every single day. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So we've got to start deciding from the place where we're meant to be, from that person we're trying to become. So when it comes to change, yeah, Natalie, I did it as well. Honestly, I used to do that constantly. So when it comes to any form of change, we've got to make some form of investment. So you invest your time, you invest your energy. So if you are trying to make a change, so whatever it is, say you're wanting to do mindset work, you've got to start listening to podcasts, you've got to start reading some books, you've got to start working on your mindset. It takes time, it takes energy. We've got to do this energy transfer to get to that place that we need to be. And as well, we've got to do the energy transfer to get the skills, to get the knowledge, to get the right people around us. We've got to invest in people. We've got to invest in yourself. All of these things create that change. So whatever change you're trying to make, whether it's lose weight, whether it's be more positive, whether it's start a gratitude journey, you need to commit to investing in something, whether it's time, energy, or money. There is always something, or people, there's always people in it. And as well, it goes on the vibration. So I know what often happens, and I know with women, we all go, do you know what? I can't invest in myself because it's selfish. My family isn't going to benefit from this. I really should be spending that money with my family, or I should be buying them something with this money. It's not for me to spend on me. How many people are with me and do that initially when anything like this comes out? And the thing is, what happens is it's all about your vibrational frequency. We think we affect people by giving them things or doing things for them. And as women, we constantly do this. We give out our time, energy, and money to everyone else but ourselves. And we think that by doing that, we are making all these people better. So by doing that, we all think that we're making our kids better, our family better, whatever it is. We think we're doing that because we are giving them our time, energy, and money. But actually what they're doing is they're seeing what you're doing. They are taking in everything you are doing. So your kids are looking at you and taking in everything you are doing, everything you are role modeling. And that is you giving out your time, energy and money to everyone else, showing that everyone else is more important than you and your goals. So what then happens is that transfers. So when you think about vibrational frequency, we're vibrating at this level, and you might have other people that are vibrating at a lower frequency and you're constantly trying to bring them up. So what you're doing is you're helping them, you're giving them your time, your energy, your money to try and bring this vibrational frequency up. But what happens is you're giving it out. They're just taking it. They're taking it and taking it. And it's not because they're bad or anything like that. It's just a pattern. It's a habit. So what happens is you're actually dipping your vibrational frequency, trying to bring someone else up. And we do this all the time. This is why they say on an aeroplane, you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first, because you have to look at your position, your level of oxygen, what you're giving yourself before you can physically help someone else. And this is where the vibrational frequency comes in. So actually, when you focus all that energy, time and effort on getting your vibrational frequency higher, what actually happens is the people around you lift. So you've spent all this time and energy trying to lift others around you and really just bringing yourself down a bit. So what happens when you lift your vibration? Everyone around you lifts. Because they're doing it because people learn from what you do, not what you say you're going to do. People learn from role models. That is what they see. They take that in. That is how people learn. So we spend all this time, and this is why the momentum, our habits, these habits are creating our reality. But they don't just create our reality, they then create everyone around us. So to give you an example of this, my grandma is an amazing woman, very feisty, very strong, but grew up in a family where men come first. So her relationship with my granddad was he come first. He was the most important thing. He was more important than anything in her world. He would sit in the sitting room and she would be running around the house, and even to the point where she would make him every single cup of tea through the day. She would make every meal. If she went shopping for clothes, she would worry that he hadn't eaten or had a cup of tea. It was constant. And he just sat there and let it all happen. He was more than capable. He'd be more than happy to get up and make himself a cup of tea, but he never had to. So he just stayed where he needed to, and she went round and doing it all. Now, I grew up watching this. I grew up from a young age. I heard my mum talking about it, about how bad it was. And this was my role model. This is what I saw. So I saw that, but then I saw my mum saying, oh, we can't live, I would never live like that, and all this stuff. So I said to myself, I am never, ever going to be living like that. I am never going to be putting myself in that situation. So I grew up, I learned, and what happened? I put men on a pedestal. I ended up marrying someone, and I was like, I am not doing all the housework. I'm not doing everything on my own, blah, blah, blah. But what happened was I did everything else. I took care of his emotional capacity. If he was happy, if he was unhappy, I had to build him up. I made every single decision for him, to the point where he'd ring me at work, and I'm like, how can you not make these decisions? He would, financially, everything was on my shoulders. It was literally like that role reverse. So even though I'd swore I would never ever do what my grandma did, I did it 10 times worse, because that was all I knew. I'd learned through this absorption. So them habits that she had, even though she never said, Rachel, do this or Rachel, do that, I took them on, and took them on worse. So when I started to change that, and I could see that my vibrational frequency was constantly trying to raise him up, and that was the habit of our relationship. That was what we were in. I had to make a big change. I had to decide that I needed to keep my frequency high. That was my goal. That was all I could do, because I had spent so long trying to bring him up and I just couldn't. So I was coming down constantly. So I had to make that choice. And this is where it comes down to that compelling why. I'd had enough at that point. I couldn't keep going. We were in this cycle. I couldn't get him up any higher. That wasn't capable. I wasn't capable of doing it. So my why had to be, I need to look after my energy, my vibration. That needs to be my most important thing. But then the people that surrounded me, I wasn't really supported in this. So when you think, my family had learned, just like everyone else, my family had learned that the men come first. So once I decided to make this change, that actually the man isn't coming first, that was a big shift for everybody around me. And I had to start finding new accountability partners, new support systems that were different to what I had, but would keep me on track, keep me with where I was going. So it really does make that change where you get your accountability. But what I could have done, I could have kept listening to the people around me and stayed as I was, but it wasn't good for me, and my why stopped me doing that. So this is why you've got to get your why really, really strong. Because even to the point where you know who to choose to be around. So I did that. I changed my support group. I changed the people around me. I knew that this was more important. My energy, my, everything, my whole life was more important than trying to bring someone else up who isn't interested sometimes in listening. And then it took small incremental changes. It was not an overnight fix. These things don't happen overnight. It was changing. It was investing in myself. It was getting me to the point where I needed to be. But it was breaking this habit ultimately. So we've all got these habits that we need to break. And that could have been yours. It could have been when Unleashed got unleashed, you were like, oh, well, I'd love to do it, and I'd love to do it, but I can't do this. And I'd love to do it, but it's not fair. I can't spend that money on me. All of these things, and they'll all be unique to you. But what I would say is just think about, who is the person you want to become? Who is that why? And what is the decision they're making? Because this isn't about me selling my program to you. My program's running now. I'm super, super excited, and I know my why. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm here to teach. So whether you join or not, that's your choice, and that's a personal choice to you. So please, please make that personal choice. I'm just here to support your journey of this change that you want to make. So I just wanted to run this through about how I've done that journey myself, and this power of momentum is key to it. And this power of changing those habits is really, really key. So I hope this has kind of hit you with a bit of a spiritual slap, like, oh my God, yeah, I've had all these big dreams in Activate, and then now I've let the week go on and, left it. Please don't leave it. You are so important, and your level and your vibration, when you are shining bright, you are giving so much to this world, and the world needs you guys to be shining bright. So I just wanted to let you know that this is how it works. These habits come in and they kick our ass because they're old habits. They are linked to our old identities, and we want to start switching them round. So the person who has the dream that you want, you need to think of them. We need to embody that person. We need to acclimatize to that person. So what type of people do you want to become? What is that identity that you want to become, that new person? So Christina, homeowner, mega entrepreneur, what is that identity? Who else has got something that they want to share? Or I have done that, but we put our own oxygen mask on first. Yeah, definitely, Christina. Um, yeah, it's definitely that oxygen mask one is a massive aha. And even then, there's some mothers who go, I could never do that. And you know, that's that's fine, that's personal choice, it is personal choice, but it's not logical, it's not helping anyone to do that, you know. Um, so the oxygen mask is a really good analogy. Being surrounded by others is so important. Yeah, Casey, the best thing about transformation is getting yourself with a group of people. So, like this group or any groups that you're in that are really supportive on transformation is the way to go. Has anybody else got anything that, you know, who is that person? Do you know who that person is that you want to be, kind of embodying? What is that? If you pass out, you can't help anyone. Yeah, exactly. And how many of us do that though? Think of that analogy you are doing now. And how many of you are nearly passing out to help everyone around you? You know, we do it all the time. We get to the point of burnout. We get to the point of we're just depleted and tired. And how many of us are doing that now? Because we say about this oxygen mask and we say, yeah, we couldn't do that. You need to put it on yourself first. But we don't think we're in that plane every day. We have that option every day. Do you choose to help yourself first to help everybody else so that you can actually help everyone else? Or do you choose to help everybody else and be at a point where they're getting a partial version of you? They're not even getting the best version of you. That's you now, definitely, Lisa. And you know, think of it like that, like you're on a plane every single day. You've got to put your own oxygen mask on first. Otherwise, no one else is going to be helped. Now, I know I used the thing with my grandma, but that took you know, we're talking shifting ancestral patterns, clearing out that stuff. The fact that I have literally chosen that different path where for me, I choose myself over a man. That is a big, big deal in my family. That has not happened for generations. My mum has put my dad first, his career come first. She had multiple jobs, she had 4 kids. He come first. He, you know, just had his steady job and that was it. And he, you know, his job was king. So my mum did that. My sisters do that. We even do it with my brother. He gets put on a pedestal. So it is ingrained into my family. To change this belief, to change this, is shifting a whole ancestral pattern. You know, it's big stuff. And this is where we all have these in our stories. We all have these big things to clear out and make that new choice, because it's a huge change when you start to do this. But you are changing it for everybody after you. You are changing it for your daughters, you're changing it for your sons, whoever you've got around you, you are changing it by doing this. So women especially have been told to put men first for years. So if we start looking at ourselves and setting that role model up for the kids around us, imagine how much better their life is going to be. It is in your family too. Yeah, Melanie, it's ingrained in society, but women function better when they are at their best, when their energy is high. I mean, when you look at when you're feeling good, when your energy is high, when you're vibrating, how good are you to be around? I bet you're like the best person ever. But when you're drained and you're stressed and you're feeling low, you'll be ratty, you'll be shouting at the people around you, you'll be angry. And yet we do this constantly to ourselves and think we're doing it for everyone around us. But I know for me, I definitely would prefer to be around me now than around me then, because I was a bit of a nightmare. I'm not going to lie. Anybody else? Is this kind of, are you seeing how these patterns and things in our lives can really knock us off our course when we want to choose that different path, when we want to choose that big dream? So it really is about thinking, what is your why? tapping into what is your why, looking at the people who are surrounding you and are they supporting you or not. Small incremental changes. You do not have to totally change your ancestral beliefs overnight. Do not panic. That comes slowly and naturally, and then you're like, that's what I've done. It's not like a woo, I'm fixed. Not that anybody's broken. I know I've said before about not being a Stepford wife, but ironically, I put everyone first, even at work. Yes, you do, Val, definitely. I can vouch for that. And it plays into every single aspect. And this is the thing, this is the bonus thing of once you uncover something like that, imagine changing that. Imagine being on the other side where you don't actually have to put everyone else first, or you don't have to put men first. Imagine changing that belief, because it will be a belief, it'll be completely ingrained into your society, literally it's everywhere. But what if we could shift that round? And you can. That's the thing, we can change this, because I'm living proof. I've done it. I have to keep myself on track. We all have slips, and this is where your small incremental changes come in. But ultimately, it's made a huge, huge difference to me in my life. And one thing it has made is I love supporting other people now. So it is not a chore for me. I literally do all of this. I'll go and see people who I want to help. I spend time with my family, my grandma, that type of thing. And before it was a bit like, not spending time with my grandma, but sometimes when I had to do a lot of stuff and I was drained and I was tired, it was a chore. And I felt hard done to, I felt everything was on me, I felt stressed. Now, because I know it's a choice and I put myself first, so I get my energy in the right place, I protect my energy, all of that stuff. Now, when I spend time with people or I help others, it's not a chore at all. I absolutely love it. And this is why I love doing what I do. But I could not do any of this if I didn't put my energy, time and money first. Because ultimately, I could not be of service to so many people. So you've really got to think the impact of making these changes actually influences the people around you in a better way. But sometimes we're just programmed to think you should give. And you can't. We cannot give from an empty cup. So this is where we need to start looking at the habits that we're in and which ones are good and which ones are pulling us back down. And also that, what are we investing our time, energy and money in? Is it the right stuff? Is it the stuff that is going to get you to that higher vibrational place? Or is it the stuff that's going to get you the same old? Because you can keep going there, but then you've got to think of your why. If you think you want to make a change and you want to make a lasting change in your life and you really want to move forward, imagine not doing anything. So imagine the place that you're in now where you desperately want to change things and you desperately want to move forward. But imagine you don't do anything for 3 years. Now, nothing's changed in 3 years' time. How would you be feeling? If you were in exactly the same place as you are now, doing exactly the same things, in another 3 years' time, how would you be feeling? And then imagine in another 5 years' time, nothing changes. How would you be feeling then? In 5 years' time, with nothing changing and you just being as you are. So get that really clear in your mind. Where would you be in 5 years' time if nothing had changed? So actually think about that energy, think about how you would feel, think about where you would be at. And then think in 10 years' time. So how many people has let that amount of time go past without doing anything? With wishing that they had, but really not doing anything? I wasted so long doing that. So think about that, and then that becomes your why. Devastated, yeah. And that isn't to scare anybody, but that's to cement your why. So what is that why? That is what you've got to think, because that is your reason for change. you've got to imagine if nothing changed where you would be. Because ultimately, choosing to do nothing is choosing not to change. And that's the big thing that we need to change now. So Unleash is one option. If anybody wants to join Unleash, I'm doing $100 discount to anybody in this Facebook group. So you guys show up for me all the time. So whoever wants to join from the Facebook group, send me or Christina a message and we will give you the code. So you get $100 off. And that is until we close on Tuesday. So there's no like, come and get it today, but $100 off for being in this Facebook group. You get that. So message me or Christina Brummer and you will get that code. The other thing I'm doing, which is a commitment from me, now this is going to be my biggest launch. I loved all my other courses. I've got 5 amazing people in Unleash now, and I want to help more and more people. So I am committing that if I get 30 people to join, I am going to give £1,000 to charity. One of the members gets to choose who that charity is. So if we can get 30 people to join the Unleash program, I am going to give away £1,000 to charity. And that money might go up. I'm just assessing what is happening over this time, but that is a promise from me. So yeah, I cannot wait. But what I would say is have a think of what I've said tonight, because it is about that power of momentum. That is the only way things move forward. It's the only way we get traction. Unfortunately, for things to change, we've got to change something. That is the thing. And change can sound hard. But for me, my why is definitely when I did that exercise. When I went, if nothing changes in the next 5 years, where would I be? If nothing changed in the next 10 years, where would I be? And that devastated me. That became my why. That was my go-to. And I still use that now just to keep me moving forward, because I think I could never, ever imagine doing that again. And yet I did that for years. I just thought, left everything to the divine forces, but not putting any effort in. And really, it doesn't get you anywhere. It gets you stalling, you kind of motion through life, and you'll all know that feeling. So, really think about, it might just be your why that you don't want to be where you are now in 5 years' time. That could be your why. That is enough. If that scares the shit out of you, that is enough, believe me. So have a think about that and really think that is your why. And then we've got to start to change what choices we make and them habits that we slip into. So if your first thing was, I definitely can't join, it's not for me at the minute, I can't spend that money, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that, that is fine. But just think, is that your fear talking because it doesn't want you to change, or is that really what you want? Because that's your choice, that's what you've got to make. So you've got to tap into that energy. And anybody who does want to join, like I said, come and get the code off me and Christina. You get that $100 discount. And I would absolutely love for you all to be in it, but it has to be right for you. So please, please, please have a good think and think about your things that you can start changing. We've got to start to move our vibration up, because we've got to be shining bright for everyone around us to be shining bright. So think about how you can start doing that. And has anybody got ideas from now of what they can start, small changes to start lifting that vibration? Pop them in the comments so I can see how you're going to start to change things around. Sorry, I'm a bit croaky tonight. So please, if anybody's had that, then have a think. What are them small changes you can start doing like soon? Please pop them in. And Lisa, definitely, you don't need to find your why. You've got your why there. You've just said you're going to be devastated if that is your 5-year goal. If you're in the same place, you'll be devastated. So that is enough. That's your why. Don't overthink it. Anybody got any questions or anything they want to ask? Tomorrow we're going to be doing the live card reading, so I cannot wait. I am if anybody's after clarity of what they need to unleash, then that is what we're going to be doing, because we are going to be asking the guides and the angels how you unleash your magnificent life. So we're going to be physically asking them how you get to that next step, what you need to do, what you need to bring in. That is what we're going to be asking tomorrow. So bit of a big one, my retirement to start with. Yes, Val, that is going to be amazing. So congratulations. I cannot wait to hear all about that when you finally take that leap, which is coming soon. Anybody else? Anybody got anything they're going to do? And that is going to have a massive impact as well, like a huge change. So congratulations, and honestly, good luck. Anybody else got anything that they want to ask or add, or was that kind of, has it cleared up how to keep that momentum going and how to keep that everything on track? Really think about where you're investing your time and your energy. Think about your habits that are coming up. Think about where your vibration is, and are you trying to constantly bring someone else on? Because that's the thing, unfortunately, we cannot affect anybody else by giving them stuff. We try and do that all the time. We've got to show them. We really have to show them, whether that's your husband, whether it's your partner, whether it's your kids, whether it's your family members. We can't tell people who aren't ready to hear. We've got to show them. That's a really big thing. You're welcome, Val. So yeah, have a listen to this week's podcast. I actually went through more with you guys tonight, so it was a big deep dive because it was the bonus for the Activate. But any questions at all, once you've reflected and had a thought, please put them in the comments. And like I said, anyone in this Facebook group, please DM me or Christina if you are wanting to join, because you do get a special code, because I'm just so grateful for you all. And I will see you all tomorrow night at 8:30 my time. So it's like 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you then. And remember, if I get 30 people into the Unleash program this time, I am going to be donating £1,000 to charity, and it can be the choice of one of those special members. So if you have a charity that's close to your heart, then think about that, and we'll try and get it to that one. But that is the plan at the minute. Going for 30 people, because I genuinely do want to give this information to 30 people. I don't want to just keep it all to me. There is so much I want to share, and this is the best way to do it, through courses. As well, if you want a sneak peek, there is a video that is in the group which gives you a sneak peek into how it'll map out, how the course maps out, what you get in there. So if you thought, I've never joined anything like this before, I don't really know what to expect, I don't know what it is, go and have a look. It kind of maps you through the journey that I will be taking you on, but it's over a 12-week period. So go and have a look at the sneak peek video, because that gives you an idea as to what you can get. Because I know it's daunting when you've not joined a course before. I was exactly the same. So if you're unsure about what it is you're getting, ask some of the members who are in there, ask some of the people who've been on my courses as well. Just do a bit of research, don't be shy, and see if it's right for you. All right, I will see you tomorrow in the live card reading. And remember, it is about ease and flow, so it's definitely about raising your vibration. Look at him, he's literally floating, and that's where we need to get to. We need to get to the point where we are relaxed in our own energy, we are feeling good at with ourselves, and we are letting things flow into us, and that is where we need to get to. So if you're pushing at the minute, or feeling heavy, or feeling drained, it's time to get that flow through you again. So just let things ease, let things soften, and let the universe support you. All right, I will catch you soon. Thank you, Lisa. You have a good weekend too, and I hope you're in the live cards tomorrow. So I will see you then. Bye.